What's going on, guys? My name is Edwin Maddy, along with the love of my life,
Maddie Ferry.
And we realize everything we do in our lives, we have to be qualified. But today, we're speaking from no experience. This conversation is not indicative of our roles associated with our employers, and we are not professionals. And with that, welcome to
Unqualified.
And today, we are discussing
friendships and balance within relationships. So we're going to be going deep into a lot of different kind of topics. We're kind of winging it. We don't have any questions prepared because I feel like there's a lot of really cool things we can talk about. So,
and with that, let's get into it.
Cheers. We're sponsored by... No, I'm just
No, we're not. No free promo. No free promo.
I'm just kidding.
This podcast is not sponsored, but we want to give a shout out to our friends Caleb and Sam. They run Aesthetic Dynasty here in Orlando, Florida, is a gym athleisure wear, and obviously
you are in.
Yeah,
full,
we're repping. I'm repping it.
Not
I'm
me.
repping the full.
Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I am an aloe. No free promo.
Yeah.
Wear that
absolutely
shit.
Not. Yeah,
wear that shit. Mine's in the wash, but
so shout out to you. But now with that, let's get into it.
Yes. So I kind of came up with the idea of this topic just because Edwin and I will say this time and time again, but we are very, very social butterflies, which is such a wonderful thing. With that comes realizing what good friendships are and the ones to keep, the ones not to keep, what's respectful, what's not respectful. We're going to kind of go into that realm of things. I have a question to ask Edwin. We're going to go back and forth, but you'll understand where we're going from topic to topic.
Sounds good.
All right, my love. So my first question to you is, when we started dating, and I didn't necessarily say like, hey, I'm super social and I have a bunch of friends, but I did tell him, you know, I like to go out, I like to hang out with my friends, things like that. Did you find it attractive or unattractive that I had like a group of guy and girlfriends, that I have a lot of guy and girlfriends, mainly girls, but I do have guy friends as well.
I will answer this in the honest way possible. I did not care. This goes into, again, one of our other episodes that
He's not normal, by the way, but like normal. In a great way, like in the best way.
I understand where jealousy comes from, and I understand it as a concept. I don't get jealous. I'm not a jealous person. I could give a fuck. Oh, sorry. I could care less about things of that nature. Like, personally, to answer your question, I did not mind that you had guy friends, that you had a big group of friends, that you know a lot of people, because I know a lot of people. And so it's just not something that said, oh, that's a red flag to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Listen, like, if for whatever reason, right, because this is a sidebar, right, fellas, if you haven't experienced this, or you never, or if you don't plan on experiencing this, I wouldn't. If you ever go out with a woman and she knows like the bouncer and like every single bartender, I'm talking like not just like one or two. I'm talking like she knows like all the security, all the bartenders.
She is open her pants and open them legs to all them men.
Or I'll defend most women out there, or some women, if this applies to you. She likes a lot of attention from those people. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just personally not around that.
Two things can be true at once.
That's very true. But from my experience, that's not what that was. She just has a large friend group of guys that were there before me, and that has experienced her and her development and her growth before. And I was not a part of that. So therefore,
me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
So therefore, I cannot, I guess, be mad, get jealous, judge, put whatever synonym that you want in there that has a negative connotation. And that's the reason why I don't believe in the concept of jealousy as a whole. But to that specific question, no, I didn't care. I don't find it attractive. I don't find it unattractive. I don't know you before we got together, so I can't judge you off the rip.
And that is security right there. One thing I will say that I found so attractive and amazing when we first started talking, dating, is that he did give me the benefit of the doubt and the trust. Because although my question to Edwin might seem simple, it's really not, because I cannot tell you the amount of men, specifically men, are so insecure when you are friends with other guys or whatever. And I'm not going and hanging out with my guy friends one-on-one. I'm not
can we
texting them inappropriately, doing yada, yada, yada. Edwin is 100% there when I'm hanging out with these people, introduced to him immediately. But I've been friends with these people for 10 plus years. If you have an issue with that, and that goes for him as well with his girlfriends he grew up with.
Right.
Half of these people are married and in long-term relationships. And even if they aren't, the fact that we immediately are like, oh, I want you to meet this person, I want to incorporate you, that's a green flag. And that's how the mentality should be from the beginning.
It's not just, hey, I want to incorporate you with this person as far as, I want them to be included in our relationship. We're like sitting down with their parents. So her friends' parents, I know them. And we're hanging out in like a family setting. And so when I introduce my friends, my girlfriends to her, most of the time, shout out to Cheney. I introduce her to not only one of my best girlfriends that I've known since middle school. I introduce her to the family,
the entire family, and I love
the whole family. I'm talking about the brothers, the sisters, the now the grandchildren. I'm talking the parents
and I'm going to tell you
grandparents. We went to their I went to their wedding, and if I can introduce you to,
we were going to go to her sister's wedding, but he was sick. But that is, again, and so many people, I can't tell you the amount of girls that would be like, that is such a red flag. That is so weird. That is so no.
And let me just hop in here, Fels, because I am one for. Listen, Fels, I'm with you. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I see a lot of the podcasts out there that guys are just shaming women, or it may seem like I'm a simp when I say that I don't care. Listen, I get the one-off scenarios, right? This is not a case where Maddie is hanging out with one of her best guy friends alone that she's known for a while. She doesn't have guy best friends. I'm her best friend, and she's my best friend. This is not what that is. What we are saying is,
we don't have best friends. We have close friends.
Right. When you hop into the relationship initially,
like men and women,
that's the setting that we're talking about. So we're not talking about now. We've been together now for 2 years. This is not where we're starting this conversation. We're starting this conversation when we start a date. So that's where
his best friends are men and me, and my best friends are him and women. So correct. That and our good, very close, dear friends are also, for him, women, and for me, men. But it's different.
We're all integrated. We know. But keep going. Before
one thing I was going to say really quick. No. I loved that little segment. One thing I would say really quick that, gosh, seltzers make me burp. But one thing that I will say that I really, really do think becomes kind of like lost in translation is that women tend to associate a man and a woman friendship as inappropriate immediately. I get it. I
understand that.
I'm the first person to think that because I've been cheated on many, many times. But you have to give your new partner the benefit of the doubt. And I grew up with boys. I literally grew up with boys. And they're my brothers to the day I die. And now I've made a lot of other guy friends. And for me to immediate pass judgment on him and be like, you're friends with a girl? Like, and you know her whole family, and I have the same situation with multiple people.
I'm sure most, and this is not just segregated to men and women. This is segregated to men and men, women and women, and whatever. I'm not going to get into that, right?
Yeah, we're not.
But like, it's one partner and the other partner. The people who are typically getting mad at the other person for having relationships and deep friendships that are very platonic before they get in the relationship probably have that same thing, but maybe the person that they were doing that with probably stepped over a line, and now you feel the need to project. And this is the reason why I say I'm different, is because I think 3 steps ahead every single time in 4 different scenarios, right? I'm working on getting therapy, guys, I promise. But That's the reason
His
why
logic
that probably
sometimes
happens. It checks out
but
sometimes.
it usually is great.
Checks out. But
What's a question you have for me based on
friendships. Well, let's do this for the record right now. Do you think it's acceptable to hang out with an opposite sex friend by yourself?
No.
Say that again.
No.
Absolutely. Right. I feel like that's an obvious question, and I feel the same way. I don't think it's really acceptable unless you are in a work setting. But at that point, that's not really hanging out. That's doing work stuff, right? Yeah, so like that's
and
different.
even then, it's gonna be limited
you gotta
time.
you gotta be very specific on all right.
My dad's always taught me, and now teaches Edwin, that you don't want to be left in a room with a woman alone at work. One, because it's not my wife and road. Why am I here? But two, there's a lot of room for
error,
false accusations, false crap. And that goes with friendships too. I feel like you'll know who your true friends are. And if you have a true guy or girlfriend and they know that you have a partner, they're not going to say, come with me. No, don't bring your partner, just me and you.
Yeah, it's not.
Go to lunch. Nope. Your true friend is not going to do that. They know that you're with somebody, and hopefully they are also with somebody and loyal to them. And we don't surround ourselves with people that would even put us in that situation. So we don't ever have this issue. But for people that maybe face this, because I do hear this constantly, like on podcasts, between friends, you name it, that's not your friend, babe. If you have a friend that's saying, oh, just come to lunch, and you're like, oh, can I bring my boyfriend? And they say no.
And if they say anything but hell yeah, like...
Nah, bro. Nah.
And mind you, if you're doing that, I'll put another disclaimer here. If you're doing that,
you're just as bad.
Well, no, we're not going to pass judgment. What we're going to do is this podcast probably is not for you, so you're probably not going to agree with a single word that we're saying. But anyone
and
that
you suck. No,
I didn't say that. But anyone who's genuinely going through a relationship, and whether they are trying to fix that relationship, or whether they just are curious about how other people live the relationship so they know that they're not insane for thinking this, now this is probably going to resonate best with you. And we're going to go through a bunch of different topics on this series as to where it may resonate with you and it may not. But regardless, you got to know your role in this whole thing, right? So just at the end of the day, what you should be doing is you should be respecting your partner. Now, if I don't understand this, but if you don't know the line between what is respecting your partner and not,
read Relationships for Dummies.
I don't know.
Read Relationships for Dummies.
I don't know,
Get
man.
it together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get it together. There's no room for excuses and failure.
Yes.
There's no. And that's, again, where it comes to when you become an adult, and this comes with maturity, right? But like I said, if your friend is willing to say, hey, come here and put you in a uncomfortable or compromising situation,
that's the key word there.
100%, they are not looking for your best interest or intentions. And they are looking to mess things up. And
people are smart. People are smart. People know exactly what they're doing. But I have a question for you. The question that I had was, do you think... And again, you can answer this however you want, because I'm going to answer the same question after this. Do you think it is healthy for a guy in a relationship, to hang out with single men? I'm talking everybody in the group is single, and we're in a group of like 6-7 people.
No.
Okay, why?
No, because you can have a few single people in there, but all single is not healthy, because they are on a whole different wavelength than you. Yeah. And that's... What do they want to do? They want to go out and meet women, right? Same with my girlfriends. Almost all of my friends are with a boyfriend or husband, thank God. But if I went out with 7 of my single girlfriends, I know for a fact we're going to the club and they want to find men. That's all they want to do. I know them.
That's the age gap speaking. I'm not going to a club, bro. I'm going to a bar. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever. Bar, club, you name it. Freaking gym. These girls are, I want to find a man. I want to do this. I want to find men. That's all it is when you're single. And for anyone, I don't care what people say. It's 1,000% true.
That's good to know.
And same for you. Now, if they're in a mixture, because I do have a lot of groups of friends where we have a few singles and then the majority is in a relationship, that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, no, absolutely not. I think that's... again, if Edwin were to, or myself were to find ourselves in that situation, it would be so rare and like almost impossible. But if it were to happen, obviously I would trust him with my whole heart and I would have no worries. It would just be something that we wouldn't put ourselves into,
like knowing
normally,
like 48 hours before I'm about to be, unless, listen, if I'm on a bachelor trip, I mean, I feel like that's the only reason where I can find
but if
myself.
someone's getting married,
we like, again, the people that I associate with, there hasn't been a scenario where we have put ourselves in a compromised position. But I've heard some stories, but that's not the point. The point is I feel the exact same way on the topic of, should a married or relationship man hang out with a group of 8 single guys? That's going to get a little dicey. Not for the reasons that she's saying. Obviously, yes, you can. There's different mentalities, but I'm so strong in what I believe in, and I've met guys too.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're gonna cheat. It's just
I'm trying to find a nickname for him. For Babs. Babs, when I went, I remember like whenever me and Babs would hang out, you know what I'm talking about, right? Whenever we would hang out, it was just things that he was not willing to do, whether it be another shot or something where he would be like, nah, he's kind of like Nick, like your brother, that would just be like, nah, I'm straight. And it's not that we were in crazy scenarios, but he'd like, nah, like I'm straight. And then
because he has a wife and he is
well, this was even when he was single. Before he would just not, be with it, or when he had his, his ex, or even his current girlfriend, who is now his wife, he would just be like, no, I'm straight. Like, so I have been around people that are just so strong in what they believe in that they're not willing to do that too. And those are the people that I respect too. Because even when I was single, I'm like, bro, why not? Like, what are you trying to like?
But again, if he was in a room full of 20 single men and they went to a strip club and all these other things,
yeah, I'm sliding, bro. I can't.
But even if he went, I would not have a doubt in my mind that he wouldn't make the right decision. But it's like, why put yourself in a position where everyone else is doing something and you're just kind of like, I don't feel.
And if I hop in the Uber,
you don't feel like you're in your place. Right. Like you're just like, I'm so out of. Like this is out of pocket. Like this is not what I do.
And I find and we're at the and no one tells me where we're going. Because again, if I'm with my boys, like I could give a fuck less. Mind you, I'm probably the person that's going to be planning a lot of the stuff and saying, like, hey, we're going to go here.
We're the planners, honestly.
I consider myself one of the leaders in the group at some point. Now, if I had a couple drinks, I'm letting somebody else take over. But I don't. If I found myself inside of an Uber with my best friends and we ended up at a strip club, I'm gonna be like, guys, like, what truly, like, what's the, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Because I know your girlfriend, I know your wife, and I know if we all got caught doing this, I know she's gonna kick your ass. She's definitely gonna fuck you up. So like, what are we?
And if all of you are single, goodbye. You have your fun. I don't want to be in that environment either. Same with the club. Like, I can't tell you the amount of. We're kind of going off, but I can't tell you the amount of times that similar situation has happened to me with girls. But okay, so my question to you, we're gonna swing right into the next
Clean ass aesthetic dynasty.
Swing right into the next topic. So my question to you is, how important is it in our relationship or any relationship do you think it is for you to have time with your guy friends and a woman to have time with her girlfriends?
Oh, I think this is very important. And it's shocking to see how many relationships I've seen where, I'm not going to be specific because I don't want to genderize people. I've noticed, because mind you, before with her, I was single for a long time. Before my ex-girlfriend, I was single for a very long time. So all I would quite literally do is just watch and people watch and observe and psychoanalyze and all that stuff. But I've noticed in most relationships how one party doesn't let the other party do something because of how it makes them feel. That's a red flag. Fellas, ladies, mainly fellas, find that stuff out, right? Like if your girl doesn't let you go hang out with the fellas, one of two things. One, that's a red flag. Two, you might need to check the people you're hanging out with. I will not completely bash the other party when I say this. You need to check the people that you are hanging out with for reasons that we just stated 5 minutes ago. If you're not getting what I'm saying there, rewind this podcast 5 minutes prior to the stripper thing and to the strip club or the whatever situation where you're hanging out with single guys, and reevaluate who you are hanging out with. I'm not going to say that my girlfriend is right about every single feeling that she has, but I do have to understand where she is coming from, and I do have to make sense of it and we do have to talk about it. So let's say Conti, for example. This is not Conti. We love you, dog. Yeah, I already talked to you. This is not indicative of this is not a real life scenario. I'm making this up. If for whatever reason, Moosey over here says, hey, look, I don't really rock with that Conti guy, man. There's just something off about him. Like,
I love you, Conti.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he does some shady stuff sometimes. Will I stop hanging out with Conti the first time? Probably not. I'm gonna see my boy. I'm telling you that right now. But I will look into what she's saying, and then I will like be on high alert. But it's not like she's saying, hey, you can't hang. But if your girl is saying, hey, I don't like you hanging out with this person at all, you do some research is all I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah. And one thing too I want to say real quick is like having balance of friends that are single and not is great. And just because some of your friends are single and aren't in a relationship and aren't on the same like wavelength is okay. But
say that again.
They have to have.
Say that again.
What?
Just say that again. What you just said.
That the same people are not on. That some of your friends will not be on the same wavelength
Specifically
as you, and
single
that's not
people.
okay. Single people, yeah.
That resonated with me a lot.
And that's okay because they're wonderful people. A lot of them are. I have some wonderful friends, like some of my best friends that are still single, and they will never ever put me in a position to jeopardize my relationship, to disrespect me or Edwin, and I absolutely adore that, and I feel the same with his friends. Never in my life, and I know you, and I hope you would say that this is true, but did I ever feel a bad way about any of Edwin's guy friends and girlfriends?
No, never
but
that.
any of them, like especially your guy friends too, like
well,
the girlfriends, no concerns.
Before we even
like,
started talking, I made it my mission. And again, if you want to seem credible in anything that you do, get ahead of the scenario. Like, I hate to assimilate this back to work, but there's a lot of things that you learn in corporate America that will make you successful in your personal life. Don't talk as if you're in a meeting, but what I'm saying is get ahead of the scenario. What I did with her was the moment that I found out that I maybe even slightest wanted to date this girl. Who did I introduce you to?
Your boss?
I guess. No, I'm talking personally.
Oh, gosh. The bar. Miles.
Right. He's one of my closest guy friends.
I was like the bartender.
The first person
I was going to say his name, but I'm not going to say his name.
No, well, him too. He's good though. But
yeah, no, I was confused.
The first person that I introduced her to, even when I'm talking, when I think we met.
His number one.
Yeah, like my number one guy, and I introduced him to her, and I was like, bro, like, and I was talking to, and I'm telling you, Miles, like,
he was literally like part of our relationship, like involved in it.
Oh yeah,
like. Before we were fully dating, like I met him.
That story. You could tell that story about the when you went out with your friends and I. But just hold on, the what I remember telling Miles about you, and I do this thing where now like sometimes what I'm trying to do is slow down my cadence of speech, so I will look for the words, right? So if you ever see me looking down, it's because I'm genuinely just thinking about what I'm saying. And I remember
like a spreadsheet of
And
words. You're
so
like...
it's like typing out, honestly, before, and I'm reading a script, right? Which is crazy. So I'm telling Miles this, and I'm looking down, I'm looking up, I'm looking like behind me, and I finally remember looking at him, and the look on his face was just like, what the like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, and I just couldn't like wait to get out all of these words. And the last thing I said, bro, this girl is fun. Like, she's fun and she's hilarious. You got to meet her. And I think the next week is when, well, I think you guys met, but the next week is when that thing happened where remember you went out to the bar with them, and then Miles came up to you.
Yeah, like 1 or 2, no, it was like 2 or 3 weeks later. I went out on a girls' night with like 5 of like my best girlfriends, and we went bar hopping on Mills in Orlando, and his best friend Miles worked as a bouncer there. And he came up to me, and we had met a few times, and he was like, hey, I had seen him earlier that night, and then he was like, I got to go on my break, whatever. He came back up to me after break and found me in one of the bars, and he was like, someone special like wants me to buy a drink on them. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. So like, tell me whatever you want, and I got you. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Mind you, I'm at the crib, so I don't know.
I immediately texted him. I'm like, someone bought me a drink. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, shut up, bro.
Like, what's going on, bro? Like,
I'm like, thank you.
I was like, man, I don't think it's really going to work out. But so that was just one thing that when I'm, but obviously,
he's so thoughtful.
So, but that was nice. But
I wanted to say really quick, Another thing that I wanted to touch on is when it is appropriate and inappropriate to cut off a relationship, female and male friendship. I cannot tell you the amount of people that I have had to cut off because I have felt, and I know it's disrespectful and inappropriate. I feel that people, I just cannot tell you the amount of people that I know keep those types of friendships on the side just in case it doesn't work out.
Right.
I am not that type of person. I know when you have my best interest at heart, and if I cannot trust that you want to hide things or keep Edwin from, or not allowing him to come with me if you want to, no. Nope. If you say inappropriate things to me, if you've hit on me, get out. You're not part of my life anymore, especially meeting him. No ifs, ands, or buts. I've always been a loyal in my relationships. Never, ever stepped out, especially with him. I'm like, even extra, like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not playing anymore. Like, the amount of people that try to catch you and shit is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
100%. And it becomes sad because I've had such good guy friends that I thought that put me in a spot that made me look like a piece of shit or tried to make it something that it's completely not. And I'm not going to go into the story, but Edwin had a close friend as well that kind of happened to when we were early on in our relationship. And the way he handled it was absolutely amazing. But it's hard when people that you're super close to kind of show their true colors when you get into relationships. And I've experienced that with guys. Like, some of my best guy friends, or I thought, no. And then they're like, have all these other intentions, and it's like, what?
And that's where I will say a lot of the times I do agree with the whole perspective of, you know, my girl or my partner is not allowed to have friends of the opposite sex because of that. It's not because we don't like, it's not because, I'm not saying we, if I'm talking to those people that agree with that, I'm not saying that we as in them feel that you are going to cheat per se. It's the people that you're hanging around with is that they don't trust. I get that. But if you really had that same mentality, like, you got to understand when she goes to Walmart, bro, we shop at Walmart for a couple things. Listen, I'm a very big Walmart goer. No free promo, but I'm a very big Walmart goer. When she was growing up, they shopped at like Publix and Costco. So we're in different tax brackets. But do you understand, like, how fine you have to be to get hit on at Walmart? Like, everyone's dressed like dog shit at Walmart. And she's dressed like dog shit at Walmart. So you know how fine you got to be like be actually hit on at Walmart. But my point. So she shops we shop at Walmart. We're very big Walmart goers. And when she was younger, she shopped at Publix, Costco. So that's a tax bracket different. Right now, do you know how fine you got to be in order to shop at Walmart when everyone's dressed like dog shit and you still get hit on, right? The problem with that perspective is, do you understand how many times your partner will get hit on in a single day? And if you don't, that's fine because you're an outlier.
If you're with a baddie.
I do not get hit on, despite all the bad dreams and all the shit that goes through her head. I do not get hit on when I leave the house. It might be because I am 6'3".
I don't know how. No, he's intimidating. Yeah. 6'3". Yeah. Okay.
Oh, 6'2". I'm sorry, 6'2".
Yeah.
I was just saying the stereotypical 6'2".
He's tall as fuck.
Muscular, absolutely yoked, looking good in this aesthetic dynasty, right? Like, it's like people don't come up to me for whatever reason, and I don't get hit on. But despite what she may think, I get hit on, right? So I just think it's like you can't have the same perspective of, I'm going to control every single possible thing, but when my girlfriend leaves, and that will make her uncomfortable to tell you when she gets hit on. Whenever she gets hit on, she tells me every single time. Do I think that's necessary? Absolutely not. I don't think that's necessary. But it's just like, again, it's just one of those things. You can't control everything that happens in your life. And I don't know. I think a whole nother episode is how to handle that stuff, right? Like, if you are one of those guys who quote, or guys or girls or partners or whoever gets jealous, I think that's another episode for another time. But yeah, man, it's not something you can control. So get over it is what I'm saying. Like, or not get over it, but just find a way to healthily or release it in a healthy way is what I'm referring to.
But for like the women or men that are disrespectful, even if you've been friends with them for a very long time, like you agree that cutting off is necessary sometimes.
I do.
Right?
Yeah, I do agree. I do most of the time it is 100%. And that's the reason why I'm more so agreeing with the people that feel that, you shouldn't have opposite sex friends, right?
If they don't know how to fucking act, that's all I have to say.
I think you got it's situational for sure. Like,
I'm not going to name names, but I was so disappointed with someone in Edwin's life, and I am the most open person. I love meeting people and meeting friends.
And that's why I find her attractive, because she's very good in that first
And someone that I was really excited to meet absolutely tried to
I don't know. It was
just
odd.
take possession of him. And it was very, very odd. And the way he handled it was the sexiest thing. I can't even explain it, but that girl's not in our life anymore, to say the least. And same with the men too. Like if I have, I always tell Edwin, but I kind of clocked that shit before, thankfully, but he didn't, he's so good about that stuff. And this person kind of did it like, whoa, like it was a little bit of a surprise, but.
Yeah, I'm a little bit oblivious when it comes to things of that nature. As long as you don't do anything like blatantly disrespectful, I mean, for socioeconomic reasons, and I can't really react most of the time. So, but as long as it's not super blatant, I won't really. It'll go straight over my fucking head, because it's just not something that I'm willing to put my energy and time into. And at the end of the day, I think one of the most things that I tell everybody that I'm with, regardless of if I was talking to the person at the time, if I'm with you as my girlfriend, if we're married, if we're a wife, at the end of the night, regardless of whatever happens, you are going home with me. That is my, like, if I could trademark a word pertaining to, my relationships, that's my quote. And I'm not worried about anything that happens that night, unless it puts you or I in immediate danger. Then, obviously now I get to, what I'm saying, I get to do whatever I need to do. But more so, the reason why I don't get jealous is because I know for a fact she's going to be sitting right in the passenger seat with me on the way home, right? That's the whole solidarity, and that's the security in my brain. That
always prioritize your partner's respect, like not just to you, but to them. Right. And if someone that you've known for years and years, or even the past 5 years, and you've been close with, and they do something to disrespect your partner, they are not your friend. They are not your friend. I promise you. I do not care what they do. I don't care if they feel, oh, well, I've known them longer. That does not matter. If I am introducing Edwin literally as the love of my life, and he is doing the same with me, we are next to each other, so I know he says that, and I say the same thing, and you act a type of way over text, in person, whatever it may be, you are not our friend. You're not. I always say someday when we get married, the people that will be at our wedding are the ones that have been rooting for us, the ones that have been a part of our relationship and have celebrated us, not the people that feel the need to one-up us, to say, oh, this, and be disrespectful. No, that's not the type of energy we want. And men and women tend to do that a lot. And I don't know why, but that cycle's got to stop. And we've done a really good job of eliminating that in our lives, I feel.
And I don't know. I've always associated myself with people that act very good in that scenario, meaning like if, for whatever reason, if we're all single in that environment and, you'll do the one-off occasional flirting or something like that. Once you get in a relationship and I introduce this person as my girlfriend, they're always very, very welcoming of that. Like, okay, that's great. Now I will back off, right? But again, I'm not going to say that's an age thing, because, maturity is very, very subjective these days. But
it really is.
I guess the people that I associated with, whether I was talking to them or whether I was in a relationship with them, I always made sure to make sure it was very mature in that sense. And but it is what it is. I mean, the last question that we'll probably end with here is, I guess, what are some signs that you feel in that environment whenever, let's say, for example, if you were to go out and you were to hang out with a guy friend of yours, what are some signs that you look for that will ultimately say, okay, well, I can't hang out with this motherfucker anymore, or else, it's just not, it's not healthy, or it's not
body language and touching. I have to go number one with that. Because men love to do that. Especially when drinking, but even sober. None of my current guy friends, but in the past, people that I was friends with. And again, I really like what you said about there are friends that, of course, when you're single, like it's more like chill, relax, like, who cares, right? But as soon as you get a partner, it's different. And that doesn't mean you hooked up with them or did anything. It just means like it's different. It's a different level of respect. If I were out with one of my ex guy friends, and yeah, they were touching up on me, feeling like, oh, you're single, who cares? Like, blah, blah, blah. No. If you're messaging me very odd, especially sexual, but even just odd questions and messages, kind of like, this actually just happened to me recently and Edwin knows, and he was like laughing about it. But if someone's DMing you,
do I know about this?
Yeah, you do know about this. Someone recently DM'd me. It was one of my ex's friends, and kind of like poking subtly, like, oh, like, are you happy in your relationship?
What that's called
like,
is feeler,
kind
feeler
of.
questions. Is what that's called.
He didn't say that at all.
Yeah, but
I'm not
questions.
Stupid. And the constant, like, it was one message, two message, 6 messages, and it's like, okay, like, why are we? And it was like, I hope you're happy. I hope this. I hope this. I hope this. Okay, and I just stopped responding. Like, there's nothing to say, when that happens, no. Again, it's a level of respect. And if someone keeps reaching out to and texting you every day and you have a partner, get them out of here. I have no guy friend that is texting me every day. That is so weird.
Can I sidebar here?
That is so weird,
bro.
Can
I sidebar here? Fellas, this is not like even close to the topic that we're talking about today, but if you reach out to a girl or a partner or whoever you're interested in and they don't answer and you find yourself triple texting, quadruple texting, dude, they're not interested. Stop. Enough. Okay.
Why don't people get that? I really don't understand that.
Doing, bro? Like,
I don't understand that.
That's not cute. Like
it's
whole,
not cute. It's ugly.
The whole chase thing. Like I know that some, and I hate saying this like this, but biologically men are more so, tailored to the whole chase. That's only in person. Sometimes that works, and even then, no means no, right? I mean, we could say a lot of disclaimers, but dude, stop. Don't text. If she doesn't answer or she keeps making excuses to fucking not hang out, move on, motherfucker.
That's so facts.
I don't know why.
And talking to no, but that's literally like so relevant. I cannot stand that. But I was gonna say messaging like your guy and girlfriends is fine, but I'm talking about every day. I literally talked to 2 of my guy friends today, but we haven't texted in like weeks, and it was about something I needed for my dad's birthday. But like, I don't know. It's again, it's that balance. It's like maybe you did do that, but then when you have a partner and vice versa, give that respect. If they get a girlfriend, give that respect. And if you cannot do that, you have a problem and you have feelings for that person and you need to back down. Therefore, we're going to cut you off because you cannot control. I cannot tell you. You know what my favorite thing to look at is? And I've told Edwin this many times, but the TikTok viewing of your profile or like Instagram, like on your story, when you can see someone just view it over and over, they keep going back up to the top of your story. I mean, girls do this way more than guys. He doesn't care about this.
Like if you go, say it again?
Like, okay, this is like kind of like niche, but if you post on Instagram and you have like your friends, like they're obviously going to go to the top. They're either liking it or like recently looked. Yeah. But if there's someone that just keeps coming up that you do not interact with, they're rewatching over and over and over again, and they keep getting bump, and
so
there's
it's the people that are at the
multiple
top.
people that I could say that are associated with you that do that, but you wouldn't be surprised by it. And not in a bad way, women wise. But
Is it? I was gonna make
no, someone that
Sydney.
I don't like that's in town right now does that a lot. And just other people that are
not
just
Sabrina
nosy.
Carpenter.
No.
Is it Michael B. Jordan?
No.
Why are you laughing?
And TikTok, that thing too, people are always lurking, bro. And those people
Jordan, bro.
are not in my life anymore. And you know why? Because they were doing some weird crap that we talked about today. And we both are constantly updating each other about, I mean, again, this honestly does not happen to him.
This doesn't happen to me at all. What I do
He's so open
is
about
I go to
this,
work, I
but-
go to the gym, I come home,
Yeah.
make her laugh.
If girls
and I
are
play
weird,
GTA,
like,
bro. Like
he'll,
I don't know
whatever.
what
But
the
it's
hell
not,
that means,
it
bro.
does
Like,
not happen to him, really.
I don't know, man.
He's too intimidating, I'm telling you. But
It's because I'm black.
I always tell him, I'm like, bro, this is so weird. Like these people keep like it's like they don't think we see. And again,
I
women,
don't see.
all women do this. All of my friends are like, oh my God, who just viewed your TikTok? Like not a video, like your account over. I have no videos of me on my TikTok. That's what's weird. That's what's so weird. There's not a single video of me on my TikTok. And people keep
There's a lot of videos of me on TikTok.
meaning you're obsessed with me and you're weird. And this is why you're cut off and why there are certain people in life and relationships, friendships that you gotta no. And thank God, because now I got my boost.
That's right. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. And if you like this, keep interacting with us.
Yeah, I get passionate.
Tell me something that you want us to talk about in the next episode, or even if it's like a trolling topic. I love those. Right? I love joking around. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you guys. We love you.
Have a great weekend. We're going to the Arnold Palmer Invitational tomorrow. And shout out to Mr. Ferry. Happy birthday. We love you
Happy
very much. Happy
50th.
50th. We cannot wait to celebrate with you across the country. Don't say where. 'Cause I
We
don't
are
want
going
these folks
to
following us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No.
Yeah, so. But Aesthetic Dynasty, use code EBW2. See you later.